We always start our Hangouts by what's a positive thing? What's a victory from this week? I'm guessing it's your computer, but
Yeah. Um, I'd say the victory is working on believing in myself and slowing down.
okay. That's I think that's a good thing. Got to move at your pace. Got to do it in a way that's going to be right for you. So I think that's perfect.
Thank you. How about you?
My victory is I got just to give you this is a little insider say I got the next week's worth of challenge videos and content and everything created yesterday. So I'm happy.
Wow. So you're a week ahead.
I'm more than that actually, but you guys don't know that.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm very impressed. Very
Yeah.
impressed.
I have to be more than a week ahead because the coaches need to be able to have time to review it. So when it gets time to coach you guys, they're not trying to like you guys may have a coaching call. Like for me, it's with me it's different. But somebody else, if the coaches only have access to the content the same time you guys have access to the
Oh,
content,
right. That wouldn't
and they
work
have a
out.
call on Monday, and somebody's like, "Yeah, I've been working at it all day," and the coach hasn't had a chance to look, they're not prepared to answer. But if I give it to them a week or two ahead of time, then they're prepared to be able to deal with the questions that might pop up. So I've
Sure.
got to be responsible enough to be at least a week ahead, if not two, so that the coaches can be at least a week ahead of you guys, so that they can coach more
So
effectively.
that makes sense. Of course, of course. Um, I want to just even ask you some technical questions here. How many coaching sessions am I allowed?
So you're going to get 3 one-on-ones, and then you get all those Tuesday calls as well.
Okay. So now the Tuesdays, they're 4 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right?
Right.
So after this week, I think I should be okay at 4 o'clock. I think that'll be okay. It's for an hour. Is that it?
Yeah, they usually go about 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes. Okay. Now, what about the outsourcing that's involved with the program?
That's where you're submitting your Hangout videos, and then they're just kind of running all rampant with it.
So is that included in this package for me?
The first 3 outsourcing videos is included for you. I'd have to do a little bit more checking to see about the rest of them.
If you
And
could,
the
I'd
fact that you
appreciate it. I
might be
need to
late with
know.
that, don't worry about if the fact that you missed your 3 outsourcing videos. We can deal with that for you. That's not a problem.
Thank you. I mean, I see. I am very conscientious, but the other part is I try to bite off more than I can chew. So here's the other question I have for you. Opinion. I love watching Alex's interviews all the time, and I watched the whole interview that he did. This was a different program with Mike Koenigs on Mike's program.
Okay.
You know that
Yeah,
program,
yeah, no, Mike Kenyon's program, yeah.
the traffic geyser. Okay, so I thought this is
Oh, I've lost your audio.
how's this? Is it better?
That's better, yeah.
So my headphone is only hearing you sometimes in one ear and not the other. I don't know if my cord got bad. Anyway, I thought I would purchase Mike's program on a trial basis, and you have 30 days, and you could cancel. Given that I have had very limited time, and my first priority is this course, I did nothing with that course. You know, and it's $2,000 initial investment, and then 200 a month, which I don't after 90 days, which I really don't have to spend. So I just got off the phone with them, telling them I can't continue it, and they said, well, they'll extend it another, the warranty another 30 days. I told them that my first priority is this course. I don't know if it's worth even trying. I said, I only have so many hours to try to do 2 courses at one time.
I wouldn't bother. I would finish this one and then go back to Mike's if you want to.
Well, they said they just raised theirs another $1,000. I said, well, I don't know. But I've been working at this job part-time just to have cash flow, and it's going to be probably ending within a couple weeks. They got someone there full-time. I didn't want a full-time job there, but I like having some regular cash flow.
Sure.
And the other thing I was going to tell you is right now I have a prospective client, and so I don't know if any of your people who are coaches or yourself would ever consider any kind of joint venturing or partnering on a potential another project, because in my current job I'm doing marketing, publicity, communications for a nonprofit in Chicago, and I met a man who is an author, and his name is Jerry Woodkowski, and he used to be the CEO of this organization. He's no longer. And here in his book, here's his book, The Grandest Love. inspiring the grandparent-grandchild connection. And he has a whole methodology of how to help grandparents learn to bond and create a living legacy with their grandchildren. And so he wants to not only promote his book, but promote the whole idea of how to create really strong bonding relationships with your grandchildren. So we had a long talk regarding online marketing, because he was first looking at just doing traditional publicity. And here the thing is, as I've heard teachers say, it's, or maybe Alex has said this too, I don't know, but it's one thing to know what to do. It's another thing to know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I know what one needs to do. The how-tos, I don't know all those details, the technical aspects. And he would like a proposal like this month, soon. So my idea to him was having his own program, like using Google Hangouts, which I know how to do, and possibly doing other things like taking a number of videos, editing them into like 10 pieces, like have 10 questions, 10 videos, putting them on social media sites. Those are all technical things. Some of those I don't know how to do, like integrating them. Some of this was with the traffic guys, or I don't know if this is something. My guess
is you probably haven't gotten to week 2 of the challenge yet, because we talked about.
I haven't.
Yeah, so that gets covered actually a lot in week 2. We talk social media and how to do social media and what that's going to look like. So I think that's going to help answer that question for you.
So what if I wanted to be able to have some team people working with me? Do you have people out in the community talking about?
And that was going to be my recommendation. Is inside Google Plus we have the G Plusers community. That's where I would go, and I would just post something saying, hey, everybody, I'm looking at trying to grow here and build this. I'm looking for some folks who might be able to assist me. Anybody have some knowledge or interest or information along these lines?
Okay. Yeah, because, look, everybody knows you need to have a team, and that's where I feel I really need the greatest help. Even having, use a coach is invaluable, because I, can feel very alone trying to get everything done.
Yeah, totally understandable. So that's where I would start.
At the G Plus community.
Yeah, the G Plusers community, and I'll let me open it up so I can just.
What's the URL for?
I'm going to find that for you right now. Hold on.
Oh, all right.
Let's see.
And then I have another question here.
And there's a link to it inside the challenge as well, but I'll just give you this right now.
Okay. Alex has so many sites. Sometimes I'm not sure which is the right site for me to go to. So
it depends what for this. All you have to worry about is membership site intensive, which will membershipsiteintensive.com and your membership site URL itself. Those are the only 2 you really need.
Right. Well, I didn't know how to figure out my own membership site. How to do it.
You did or did not?
No, I didn't. That's with WordPress.
Right. Yeah, that one you should have gotten login information from us.
Right, but I don't know how to do all the mechanics of it, because I haven't been watching the programs.
Well, that's why you're going to go through the challenge. So that's fine.
Okay. So let me ask you 2 other opinion type questions. A couple of years ago, this was before I took the Hangout Marketing Challenge. I think it was 2 years ago. I was doing a online radio show through Blog Talk Radio.
Okay.
And I have 6 months worth. I did a weekly online radio show called Make a Positive Difference, where I interviewed nonprofit leaders and transformational entrepreneurs about the impact they were doing, helping others. And so I have the MP3s for that. And I had, through the process of doing the show, I met a man who has an online radio show, very successful, and he recommended I have a membership site, but he had someone do it. I wanted to tell you the site. So he had someone do it, and I paid, I don't remember how much I paid, maybe $400, $500, but there's no money involved. I'm paying out the money every month, $24.95. I'm paying out to Ning. You've heard of Ning?
I have, and I would not. I would just leave your Ning site and do it through this new site that you're building.
Yeah, so I was wondered if I wanted to tell you my URL. If there's some way I could transfer. What I'd like to do is take that URL. It's thedifferencemakers.biz. Could I transfer that, some of the stuff that's in that on that site, can I transfer it to my new
Do you
site?
have the you have those MP3s somewhere, correct?
Yes, I do. Some of them are, I think I have them in my file. That's why it's so important. I believe I have them on the difference makers they're on the differencemakers.biz as well, if you want to go to that. So that site, that was born out of my interest to, and this is before Alex even had his membership site course, this has been sitting on Ning for like maybe 2 years, a year and a half, and I'm paying out the money. And I had some people join, and basically it was, I thought, a way where I could get corporate people interested in sponsoring nonprofits, and it was getting kind of complicated to do their programs.
Yeah, I think you need to just close the Ning site. If you've got all those MP3s in your computer as files, you're either going to add them directly into this new membership site, or you're going to store them somewhere on like an Amazon S3 account, and then just add them as audio content. And I'm going to give you another link so you don't have to worry about that. I covered that this last Tuesday on the Ask Sean Hangout.
Is there some technical person that could help me before I shut down that Ning site, just to make sure that I have all the data? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want. My only concern is if I shut it down, what if I put some video clips on there? What if I miss something?
And I don't know how Ning is set up, so I don't know if I have a person who can tell you how to take all your data off there. My guess is that it's just stored in a media thing, and you can pull it off like you would any other site. It depends what kind of videos. If they're YouTube videos, you have them in your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll have to see. They may be in my YouTube channel. That's right. Okay. And I think they're the full length too. Some of them are longer.
Yeah, which is fine. You can make them as long as you want them to be. That's not a problem.
So as far as transferring that data from my Ning site to this site, I can still use the same URL, but is that going to be complicated then to transfer?
You just submit a help desk ticket, and I'll be able to send you the exact instructions about how to go to wherever you own that URL, GoDaddy or whatever. And all you're doing is changing the name servers, is what it's called.
Right, I know about. I just don't. I've done it. I did it a long time. I don't know how to do it for this program, but.
Right, and it'll show you, like, it'll give you the instructions of what to do.
Okay.
It's just changing name servers. It's not overly. It's very easy to do no matter where you are. I'm assuming you're in GoDaddy, and GoDaddy can walk you through that. It's very easy.
Yeah, I could be there. I have to check. And so do you think maybe somebody in the community might know as far as the technical aspects of how to capture, or no?
You can ask. I mean.
All right.
It's a lot of it. I mean, it's you just have to go into Ning and look at this video and see if it's YouTube, and if it is, then you have it in your channel. If it's audio, you just need to make sure you have that. Like if it's in Ning, you can just you can export it from there. You can just save file as and put it into a folder on your desktop.
Okay. All right. That's good. So I'll try to do that.
There's not a way to like copy everything that's in Ning and automatically upload it to your new site. There's not a way to do that at all. You have to do it piece of content by piece of content.
All right. Well, I did hear I have watched some of the videos or listened to audios too regarding, I listened to a lot at the beginning. The sales funnel is something that I've been struggling with, working with. Like even with this prospective client, it's hard for me to know, like, well, how high does one go, or, how do you do that in the group coaching calls, helping people with their funnels?
We can. I mean, right now we're just trying to get people to focus in on the getting your I think you're trying to do too much.
Yes, that's a good point.
Just do the challenge.
But isn't the challenge also, like, here, getting your niche together? I have Alex's funnel information. That's part of the challenge, right?
Well, no, the funnel is just training he did along the way, but the challenge is building a membership site to a niche. And your membership site is a part of your funnel, but you have to have a membership site built first. If it gets too overwhelming and too confusing, stop watching Alex videos and just do what the challenge says until you're caught up.
I see. Yeah, because that's the question. Sometimes I've gone into Alex's other sites, the productivity site, and then I'm watching that.
This is all extra information but it's not the challenge.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what happens. I start watching that, and I'm thinking, well, I really need to get my funnel put together. And I thought that really, obviously, the funnel does coordinate with the membership challenge. Right? I mean,
The
it
funnel,
does.
the membership challenge is part of the funnel, but
Right.
not necessarily something you need to be overly worried about. You don't need
Okay.
to build your members. You do not have to have a completed funnel all sketched out and done and ready to go. That can be after the challenge is done stage.
Okay. Yeah, see the way I feel about this, Sean, and I don't know if how you would feel about this, but I feel like I have pieces of knowledge. Imagine a puzzle piece, and there are lots of pieces on the floor, and I haven't connected the pieces.
Well, so, and I think part of it is you're asking a bunch of questions without actually having done any of the work for the challenge.
Well, I've done pieces of the work, just the beginning part.
You've done the pre-training pieces.
Yeah, right.
And you haven't actually gone into the challenge and started building your membership site yet.
Right, you're right, right. Okay, so.
So all of Alex's stuff is going to be available to you later. You can do productivity secrets afterwards. You can go back and consume all his Friday hangouts if you want. You can do all of that. But right now, I would say that your singular focus should be working on the challenge.
Okay.
And are you coming to the event in July?
Well, I wasn't planning on it at this moment, mainly because of money. I mean, I don't know what to say. I have to make some radical changes so that I'm always, it's been a pattern, which you probably understand, of being stressed about money.
Sure. So here, first suggestion is just because someone suggests a product does not mean you need it. Like Koenig's product is fabulous, and it's going to do you no good right now. Because you're not at that point yet where you're ready to use Koenig stuff.
Yeah.
Just like I know a lot of people who are all excited about lead pages, which is this great thing, but if you're not somebody who understands and uses squeeze pages and has this whole model of bringing folks through a bunch of different lead pages doesn't do you much good. I like it, I use it, and that's where I'm at in my business. Right now, you don't have a membership site yet.
Right.
You don't really necessarily have an active presence online.
Oh, I don't for now. I stopped because I was busy doing this job. So, and then, of course, then my attention was away from everything.
Yeah. So if you're going to, in the limited time you currently have to focus on stuff, make it just the challenge related.
Okay.
Until you get your site built, until you have content up there, until it's running, until you've got all the pieces in place that need to be in place, then we can talk about that next step of how does this fit in your funnel and what else should you be looking at. But to build out your big full-on funnel right now isn't going to, it's extra spent time that is taking you away from what should be your focus.
Okay, well, but part of the funnel is the membership site, like you said.
The membership site is one line out of 6 in your funnel.
Right.
Build that one line.
So how do I, like, even that, so let's say it's the bottom line. People could say the membership is $9.95 or $19.95 or whatever. You still have to keep delivering content every month. That's a value. Otherwise, why would people pay? Right?
Correct.
So what I wondered, and maybe this is covered, is like, how much is enough, or what's, sufficient content so that people will want to stay engaged?
It'll make sense when you start going through the challenge and start adding content, either your own or from Membership Site Central. Okay. You'll see what an article looks like. You'll see how we do our video content. You'll see all these pieces. The instructions on how to, all of that is in there. It tells you how to add content, what content should look like. I think week 3 is actually all about content. How to add it, how to create and add your own content, what it should look like, what the proper, all of that's covered in week 3.
So what week are we on now? Week 4?
We just started week 4, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm 4 weeks behind.
You're 3 weeks behind.
3 weeks behind. Okay.
And like I said, it doesn't matter because you can go back to all of it, and you do not have to be on pace with absolutely everybody else. I just want to get you to stop being distracted by other opportunities. If you're going to make this your priority, make this your priority.
Right, yeah.
If that means calling up Mike's people and saying, you know what, I can't use this, I'm not going to use this, just because by holding on to it, you may someday save $1,000. Doesn't mean it's actually worth the, $2,000 now and the 20 whatever it is a month until you use it. You're going to end up spending that extra $1,000 just by paying the monthly access to be able to get to it someday at that $1,000 difference.
Well, no, they said they were going to hold that off for 90 days, $200 a month. But I said that's a lot of money for me to spend $200 a month and not be able to use something.
Exactly, and if you don't get around to using Mike's thing for 5 months, the $1,000 you would save by not canceling now, you just lost anyway.
Right. Okay, good point.
And I'm in no way criticizing his content. It's an absolute fabulous product. But I never tell anybody which product to take. I just say make a decision of what you're focusing in on and finish that.
Yeah, I want to do this course. When is it? Just so I know, when is the exact date again in July for the
13th through the 16th.
When was it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
July 13th through the 16th.
13th through the 16th. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it's in California.
Yeah, down in San Diego.
Same place. Yeah. Do you live in California as well?
Yeah, I'm up in Northern California, north of San Francisco.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, so I'd like to, one other thing I want to ask you, okay, so this has to do with just your opinion. Before I was taking the Hangout Marketing Challenge and I was feeling worried about money and, not sure what to do, I started a program. So now you know how but my main passions really, I'd say, are I love communicating to make a difference. I love interviewing people and writing. And the others, I have a background, I don't know if you know this, in music education. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Okay. So that's my degree in music education. And I taught school for a year, and then I ended up working in a commercial music company where I wrote live trade shows and commercials and lyrics and things like that. And when I was before I got the full-time position, anyway, I was teaching piano part-time, and I ended up taking a program called Simply Music, and I'm the third licensed Simply Music teacher in Illinois. It's a breakthrough program in learning how to play piano in all styles right away. It's very innovative. So for the last year and a half, I've been doing that very part-time, about 2 evenings a week. I have 8 different students right now. And so when I was studying Alex's material about passion and purpose, the challenge for me is that I really have dual passions. I love communicating, but I really love music teaching as well, because it's a way of expression, and it's a gift I feel that I also can give to others to be able to express themselves musically. So the drawback is I don't see it making big money.
Well, so the key here is, which one of these is the one that you would do if you never got paid for it?
Well, I've done both. I've done both that way. I've done both for free. So I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, let's try it this way. For the music teaching, is it something that you have to physically be with the person, or can you be instructing them over a Hangout, or can you do videos to help people do this technique?
Well, good question. I have been with the people personally, and it's probably easier being with them. I recently found something online where a guy is teaching some piano through video. And I don't know how much. Simply Music is part of, it's like a franchise, but not quite. But I pay them a monthly fee for my students. I have to pay them $2.50 per student per lesson, and I pay a yearly fee, to be a Simply Music teacher. And I have to pay to get the materials which have the instruction. They do teacher training as well as the teachers do the students. So I paid for up to level 4, and it's like 18 levels. So I put out money into it. I don't know if I don't know how much I could do without being there personally. It's a group piano format typically, and so I usually have just 2 people in a group. You could have up to 10. But I don't see it having great financial potential at this point. For the Simply Music Corporation, they're doing very well because they charge the teachers and they have their own materials, and then and then the teachers pay for them, and so I think Luke, money-wise, I feel I would make more money with this, interviewing people who are making a difference. I do love that. But I
How
just
does that
also
make
do love
money, though?
what?
How does that make money in your mind?
Well, right. That's true. I haven't made money there. Well, my thought would be that either one, someone would pay me if I were interviewing them, so that they would then have a product. They could have a video product of their program, or I can do some Hangout marketing coaching. Or the other thought was, as far as making money, I thought that if a corporation, let's say a corporation really was supportive of a nonprofit. There are a lot of corporations that underwrite nonprofits. Could be like Walk for Cancer or whatever. That the corporation would pay a fee to have me do a Google Hangout program for their nonprofit, and then we would take the show and repurpose it into videos that would be online and put on social media sites.
So it sounds like your choices are either teach music or be a social media expert. That's ultimately.
Well, I don't know if it's social media. I was calling it a marketing consultant, an interviewer, to get their stories.
There's a big difference. So that's not what you were saying, though. I just want to reflect back what you were saying. What you were saying is that you're going to have somebody pay you to take an interview you did and repurpose it via social media.
Oh, no, not that I did. Something that I would do in the future. I would do for them. Let's say, like, there's a nonprofit I found online, and I interviewed the CEO of it. It's called Difference Makers International, and so Halise. I forgot her last name. So I interviewed her, but she has people who are involved in helping her business, and she helps build self-esteem and prevent bullying in schools. So let's say, I already interviewed, but let's say someone else wanted to have other content about her organization out online, and I did interviews, and I thought that maybe they would pay me to do some programs. I haven't obviously put the money component into the equation.
What it sounds like is you want to get paid to run Hangouts for people. Yeah. But it doesn't sound like you actually want to produce the Hangouts. You just want to be the person who does the interviewing. And I'm going to be honest, I see that having less viability for funds, like income, than the music teaching piece. Because the music teaching piece, at least what you can do is have a membership site that has some of the, like, either recordings of the lessons that you're giving to your people live, where you're just recording you teaching, and then people pay to kind of get access. The idea is what you want to do is you can use it as a way of getting new clients for the music teaching biz. Because I'm guessing just because you're paying $1.25 per student per session, I'm betting they're paying you a lot more than $1.25 per session.
All right. No, I pay $2.50 per student per lesson. I charge them $38.
So if you had 10 more students, you're basically making $300 a session, like $300 more a month. I don't know how many sessions a month you have. How many sessions a month are you doing?
So I do a weekly lesson, and I typically, it's not that much money. So let's say, and then I give a 10% discount to the second family member. So it's 38 and 35.
You're giving me too much detail.
Okay. All right.
How many? So you have 4 sessions a month.
4 sessions a month, right.
And you can be teaching up to 10 people per session.
Right.
So let's say you were able to use your membership site to help people understand why learning piano is important, how it's great, how it improves your self-esteem, how it's a great talent and ability to have, how passionate you are about it, and you used your membership site to show them some things about learning music, how much maybe you're interviewing your current students about how they're happy or how things have changed for them, whatever it might be, and use your membership site to then get people to enroll into your live teaching.
But then it's limited just to my geographic area around here.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Chicago, where are you at?
I'm in Winnetka. It's a northern suburb. I'm about 35 minutes north of Chicago.
Yeah, so you've got, I grew up in Algonquin.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of people in the northwest suburbs.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to be hurt. And if what you did was made that your primary thing, where all you did was say your marketing was all about learn piano in a way that works in the northwest suburbs, and you talked about that in every one of your promotional videos. You talked about why piano is important, And by the way, especially if you're in northwest suburbs of Chicago, it's easy. I'm right here, blah, 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 consistently at da-da-da-da-da. Then if you had 10 new people at $30 a session, that's 300 people, $300 per session times 4, you're now looking at $1,200 in income just because you've added one new round of sessions, 1 hour a week of training. That to me is a better thing than hoping that somebody who, first of all, nonprofits don't have money and don't pay for advertising and PR. They do all the free PR they can get. They're not going to pay you just to do an interview when they can get on a Hangout and they could just interview themselves if they wanted to. You don't have enough of an interviewing name. Like Alex can get paid to do interviews because he's known for that.
Right, right.
You're really not. And so people aren't going to say, "Oh, I'm going to pay Lynn to interview me." That's not a selling point.
Right.
So to me, making a membership site about music, about the importance of piano and music and why it's important and beneficial, and then talking about how you have this, you're one of only 4 people who in the state of Illinois who can
Simply
teach
music.
this type of piano, or Chicago area, whatever it is, this type of lesson which works, it's different, it's unique, you're going to learn it better, and it's inexpensive. $35 to learn, like, so for them over a month it's what, $120 to learn?
So it's $152 a month.
That to me, that's unbelievably cheap. Or you get a whole family and say, you know what, bring the whole family in, let the whole family learn. You give the 10% discount for everybody else in the family, and you're looking at like a family of 4 is going to be paying what, $500 maybe.
Right, or I have a private student's $50 for a lesson that's for half an hour.
Yeah, and so this is but this is the point. Like if you do, like, I think you can use your membership site to drive traffic to your music teaching business better than you would be able to create a new business of hangout interviewer for nonprofits who don't have any money anyway.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because otherwise, the only other thing I could do with Hangouts would be teaching them, coaching them how to use Hangouts for their business.
Which is possible, and you could do that, but I mean, is that really do you really want to try to hunt down a bunch of nonprofits and tell them how to, like, which is more which would you rather be spending your time every day doing?
I think, you know, for me, music is something that's been part of I haven't really promoted the Simply Music business that much because I've been distracted with other things, and I did put together a very cheap website that I got for free, and I call it atimeforpiano.com. It's very simple. But I do have a family driving out, if you know Illinois, driving out from Gurnee, Illinois. They drive about 45 minutes each way to come see me for lessons. They're really dedicated. Because I'm the only one in the northern suburbs. There's one in Chicago, one I think in Rogers Park, one far south, like in Flossmoor.
You've got a massive, I mean, you really have a massive area you can pull from.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a suburb kid. We don't go into the city for anything unless we're going out on a Friday night. We're not going to go into the city for a piano lesson. Are you nuts? I don't want to deal with that to learn piano, but if I can drive away from the city to learn piano, that's freaking awesome.
But I don't think I could do this. I mean, I don't know about teaching through the video. You know,
I'm not saying you're teaching from the video. I'm saying you're using your membership site and your membership site could be a free site where they just get some tips, some tricks, some abilities where they get to learn a little bit about music, which then makes them want to pay you to take your lessons. Membership sites don't always have to be paid. I'm doing the free model for my stuff right now. I'm doing this model where anybody who wants to learn about social media, like automation for small businesses, I have a membership site that's strictly about automation techniques for small businesses, giving them lots of tools, a lot of tricks. They get in for free. They get in for free if they refer 3 other people, which is a whole nother system. But that way I'm building up my list. I'm getting people in. They're getting lots of information. And then as they're consuming, I'm selling them on my $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, and $50,000 products, depending on what they really need help from. So I'm upselling them, but the membership site is a free access.
Right. So, but the benefit there is that you have products that you could charge a lot more.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you have what is the group coaching thing is what makes it work for you. 10 people, I mean, basically what you're saying is you get paid $300 an hour to teach piano. That's pretty high. If you had
Well,
10,
that's if you get 10 people. I've only had the most I once had 4.
but
But I
that's
think
what I'm saying is that if you used all of this stuff that you're going to learn about social media and your membership site and adding content and giving value to people and getting them to learn a little bit and all this kind of stuff, if you did all of that and then drove people in, you easily could get 10 people, and you might go from having one group of 10, you could have 4 groups of 10 a week or 5 groups of 10 a week, and now you're making good money for, 5 hours worth a week. I mean, think.
yeah.
The idea is that you're using this to grow that business.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking hard about this because I do love teaching music. I also love interviewing people, but I haven't made money from the interviewing other than I have been a video producer, but that was a whole other thing, writing and interviewing for videos. But yeah, maybe I should just change the whole thing around. But then it wouldn't be the difference makers anymore. But it would.
Well, it could be. I mean, it still could be the difference makers, and you're talking about it from like, what are all the benefits of learning piano, and get a little theoretical with them. And it's not just I now can play piano, but like learning music is a huge. I mean, that's a skill that people will keep with them, and it makes them. I mean,
Right.
I know a lot of people who love that. I've got a friend who plays the clarinet, and I mean, that's her way of unwinding and relaxing after she's had to deal with her 3 kids all day. She goes and
Right.
hides for a half hour and goes plays clarinet because it's something that soothes her soul, kind of thing. It
Right,
doesn't
right.
have to be. I mean, and it's also. I mean, if you can learn piano and then be that person who, like, at a party sits down at somebody's piano and starts playing and gets everybody to hang, like, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Piano's a cool thing.
Well,
Fire
it
away.
is. The beauty of this method, if you want to check, it's simplymusic.com. It's international. It's in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the U.S. They're going to expand into other countries. Simplymusic.com. Is that it gives people the opportunity for self-expression through music immediately. And in typical traditional lessons don't do that. So the format of this program is you give a free intro session, which I give, and it's all laid out for me. I know how to deliver the program, the intro session, so people can see and understand the difference between traditional methods, which is reading-based, and Simply Music is a playing-based approach. You learn to play immediately through identifying patterns on your fingers and then going right to the keyboard and playing in all styles. So it has been very exciting for me to be able to give that gift to people so they could just start playing,
Well, and I just looked at this. They have a Simply Music online piano lessons section.
I thought they just started. I don't know how many do it, but maybe that, I could consider. I think you have to be more, I'm not sure how advanced you have to be.
It says start playing piano immediately, enroll now if you don't know Jack. So I'm not saying that you need to duplicate what they're doing here. I'm saying you could, since you're a teacher, you could ask, hey, can we do something along those lines where maybe they'll give you that content, you can add it into your own site where you're paying them for this access. I mean, there's lots of options here.
Okay.
They can teach piano online, you can teach piano online, or partner with them and ask them, hey, you know what, I've got a membership site, I want to use some of your content, even if it's just some of the teaser stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that changes everything around, doesn't it, then?
Yeah, because I don't hear passion about the marketing thing. I just don't when you talk about it. I don't, and the thing I definitely don't hear is clarity.
Really?
Because what I hear is that you have experience in marketing, you've done marketing for some nonprofits, but you really want to also bring in what you've learned about Hangout marketing. And to me, it sounds like you want to build a business around Hangout marketing because now you have learned something about Hangout marketing. Just because you have a knowledge doesn't mean it needs to be your business.
Right.
I mean, I have a PhD in education, but I don't teach anymore. I'm out
Well, you are teaching. Your coaching is teaching.
Yeah, but I'm not in higher education anymore. I'm not formally using my personal development and the student development theory stuff that I have a PhD in.
Oh, I see.
I mean, it's great and it served me well, but it's just because I have that knowledge doesn't mean it has to be my business. Does it help me be a better coach? Sure, but I don't coach from a developmental perspective. I coach from a practical application perspective.
Well, if I'm to do the website membership on Simply Music, am I time for piano?
You're doing a membership site on piano and why learning piano is important and beneficial. You're not doing it about Simply Music. Simply Music just happens to be the technique you use, but your membership site is all about piano, benefits of piano, how it can be easy to learn piano, that kind of stuff.
Would I take the website that I now have, a timeforpiano.com, and just use that URL?
You don't have, I mean, it would depend on what you have for time for piano right now. I'd have to look at it.
It's not very much. It's very, bare bones, not fancy.
It's time for piano.
A time for FOR piano.com.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could probably, I would say you could probably move that over and make that your membership site URL, and then use some of this basic information on here on your about page, because really all you have on here is an about page and a contact thing.
Right, there's not much there. It's very minimal.
Yeah, I would move it over, and then you would have a whole lot of other beneficial things that you could offer inside. In your members area, you could have like either a lesson or testimonials, or even if it's just 2-minute videos of one little aspect, you doing a Simply Music technique.
Right. I do that during the free intro program. We give everyone a sample lesson of a piece which ends up being Ode to Joy by Beethoven. I don't know if you know from the Ninth Symphony. Da, 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 da. And they learn through the hand 3 sentences: middle to top, top to bottom, bottom to middle. And we repeat it, and then they go right to the keyboard, and I have them play ba 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 ba, and then I say add finger 3 and 2, and then they basically learn they can play instantly through a pattern.
And I think that's perfect. And if you did a lot of little videos like that and showing that, and it wouldn't even have to be that. It could be, step 1, we're going to have you play with your fingers. Da 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 da.
Yeah, right.
And then the next video is, all right, now get your keyboard. Do this like the exact same thing you just did on your hand. Put your hand on a keyboard and do that now. Da 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 da. And like that, if you just did little 2-minute videos and things like that, and walk them through, that's your content for your site. That's your membership content. And then you could say, isn't this easy? Why don't you actually take lessons and learn like real piano from me here in the Northwest suburbs, blah, 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 and you're good.
I like that, Sean. Yeah, that's good.
I think that's a better approach than trying to force Hangout marketing into nonprofit conversations.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the Hangout. I was trying to open the door for nonprofits or entrepreneurs to tell their stories online. Basically, click here and you can tell your story. But you're right, they don't have money, and they typically don't want to spend it on very much of anything. That's what I've found.
Mm-hmm.
And people who value music will be willing to spend some money on taking lessons.
And this is my take. This is why I think this is the approach that you need to take, is that you go approach from this. They might get a little bit, and they're going to either get excited about piano, or like, wow, because a lot of people don't want to learn piano because I think it's going to take them 3 years before they can play a piece.
Right, exactly.
Through your membership site, come in, free membership, learn to play the beginning of Beethoven's Fifth in 1 week or in 1 day by watching these 3 videos. And they're like, holy shit, this is easy. I can learn how to play this. And then you know what? The best way to learn is in person with a teacher. If you're in the Northwest suburbs of Chicago, here you go. This is what I do, and you just talk about it. Everything talks about the Northwest suburbs of Chicago. Everything
North, yeah, but that's okay.
Well, same concept. But you can even tap it in the Northwest. If they're from Gurnee driving in to see you, they're going to be fine for you too. You can get some of the Northwestern people in too.
Sure.
So this is the approach I would take.
Okay.
And I would say, go through the challenge with that mindset and see how that feels building a site and doing all the tasks around that concept.
Okay, and then I might as well take off the other difference maker site, which is just doing nothing. It's just draining me at this point.
Yeah, because it's not. You've got to focus on one thing and one task. Membership site around piano. There you go.
All right. I think the reason I was hesitant because I just felt like it was limiting money monetarily. But
this is the only thing you actually have in place that actually has the has a income source in place.
The other ones don't.
Oh, not yet. You don't know how you would make money with the other approach, really.
Yeah. And prior to that, I was just doing writing. Like I was a freelance writer. That's what I have been. My Park Avenue Productions had been a writing company. So that's what I've been doing, just writing anything and everything from articles to videos to newsletters. Um, but sometimes it gets very solitary, just writing,
Well, is that really what you want to be doing?
Not no. The writing part that I like doing is creative writing, like children's stories. I authored a book, but people don't typically. That was a work for hire. I was paid by Capstone Press $1,500 to write this children's book, social justice, how you can make a difference. So people don't traditionally, if you get paid for a children's book, you don't get paid a lot. It's just a work for hire. Otherwise, you have to. I do have a manuscript right now of a story I want to.
Do you want to teach people to write?
I think I would rather teach them to play piano.
Done. There's your answer.
Yeah. So, I think you probably knew the answer to that, right?
Of course.
That's why you have your PhD.
It's more just the fact that I can tell when you're talking about something. Like piano, you get excited. Everything else, you're like, yeah, I used to do writing. It was fine. I kind of did it occasionally. It's fine. But then I get to teach piano, and I get people. You just are more excited when you talk about piano than you are anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that helped me a lot. I really appreciate that. I don't know how long your session is. If I went over time on your.
We did go over time today, but that's all right. We needed to get to this point.
Thank you. So now, when did I schedule my other sessions? You said I have 3 sessions.
Yeah, I don't know if you did. I don't remember seeing.
Am I supposed to schedule it far out, or how does that work?
You could schedule all 3 out now if you wanted to, and that's not a problem. I'm just looking to see if you.
I don't know. I don't know how to. I mean, how far apart do people typically schedule their appointments?
Most people are doing it every 3 weeks, just to kind of get a good little cushion and get some work done and come back with some new questions. Get some work done, come back with some new questions. That kind of stuff.
Good. That sounds good.
And I'll re-email you the link.
I think this feels really good, Sean. I've been very frustrated and troubled with myself because I haven't been able to decide. And I went through Alex's book about passions, and I was thinking, really, music has been a part of my life since I was a child. I mean, writing too, but it's different. I have been very involved with the music and the arts.
Yeah, I think you're just so there's a lot of I'm a writer. I have my best-selling book, but I don't call myself a writer. I've written a best-selling book, but I don't first promote myself as an author.
What's your best-selling book? I didn't know that. See?
Oh yeah, it's The Coin of Indecision. It's a book I wrote about 1.5 years ago, or a book I published about 1 year ago.
Now, did you self-publish, or did you
get
a?
Yeah.
Well, if it's possible to talk to you, I don't know now or I'd like to, because I have this book that's been burning a hole in me. I'm turning a big number in 4 days, Sean. I'm having a big number birthday.
Okay.
And so I told myself I wanted to get this book published, this coming year, and I'd love to get your, if you have a recommendation about like a self-publisher or whatever, how to do that, because now I know that's a distraction. I know what you're thinking.
I'm gonna say I don't even want to have that conversation with you until you've at least gotten into a couple weeks of the challenge.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Thank you.
And I'm a fan of it, and I'm happy to help you get the book. You're not going to get it published in the next 4 days, so that's not relevant.
No. I meant, but for this coming years, I'm looking ahead.
Then as we get towards the end of the challenge, we can revisit that question and we can talk about self-publishing.
All right. And how many weeks?
If I give you information now, it's going to distract you from doing the challenge.
You're right. How many weeks is the challenge?
It's 9 total weeks.
Okay. So I've got catching up to 9 weeks. All right. And if I were to make a last-minute decision about the July event, I mean, I don't even know if I could, but if I can, do you have any idea when would be the latest date to decide?
It depends how close we are to sold out, and I haven't looked at the numbers recently, so I would say sooner the better. And there's a way to be able to, like, you could reserve your seat, but then you'd have to cancel 30 days out if you're not going to go. So you could reserve your seat and think about it over the next week if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, right now, I think I have to wait.
That's right.
All right.
That's
Well.
totally fine.
All right. So you'll send me your calendar, and then I'll look at the calendar to pick two other days.
You have an email to link. You have an email with a link to how to schedule your next one-on-ones.
Thank you. You know, this was like a psychology session, son. You know that.
Well, that's what a lot of coaching is, and that's what most of the coaching sessions is helping you get past your mental blocks. It's less tech, and it's always just where you at and what's stopping you from moving forward.
Yeah.
That's
well, that was very helpful. I really appreciate it.
Good. All right, I need to go because I got another.
So I will. All right, I will talk to you another time then. Thank you again.
All right, yeah, you've got a couple emails with links to the community, to Tuesday's Hangout where you can find out about adding audio, and then also to schedule.
Great.
All right, excellent, Lynn. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Sean. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.